MVP. 40 names were called before him. I love a good underdog story. He trails only Wilt Chamberlain for the most assists per game by a center. Only Russell Westbrook led his team in more points, rebounds, and assists per game, and that was 4 years ago. The Joker flattered, but he's focused on evening the series with the Suns, where they were beat down in Game 1. Game 2 tonight in Phoenix. Perk, who is more important to Game 2, the Joker or DeAndre Ayton?
It's DeAndre Ayton. And look, we all know that Jokic is the MVP and he's a superstar, and I get all that he's a special talent. But DeAndre Ayton has came to light, and he's found his groove. And he's not afraid of big Jokic, okay? He's dominating him on both ends of the floor, especially in Game 1. He dominated him. He dominated him where he held Jokic to 10 to 23 from the field, only 22 points. And on the other end, he went at him. He had 20 and 10 himself. And when I'm looking at DeAndre Ayton, he's playing with a certain type of tenacity. He's playing with a certain type of edge. And you know where that edge comes from? It comes from CP3. It comes from Jay Crowder putting that key in his back. And by the way, let me give credit to one of the assistant coaches that is sitting on alongside Monty Williams. Coach Mark Bryant, MB is what we call him. One of the most underrated coaches in the game today that takes a lot of time with DeAndre Ayton, putting that dog in him, developing his skill set. So DeAndre Ayton is the most important tonight, because if he dominates like he did in Game 1, the Suns will win in great fashion again, like in Game 2, like they did in Game 1.
Most important player is obviously Jokic. I agree with you about Ayton's excellent play. And by the way, he was good against AD. And, you know, it's ironic that coming into these playoffs, it's like, well, the Suns won issue.
We're not talking about AD.
We're
not talking about AD.
Right, I'm talking about AD. Don't worry about it. You had your chance. Now you just got to sit there and figure out how you're going to lose another argument to me. Look, the bottom line is Ayton was green, right? Too green to deal with AD. Did a good job. Too green to deal with Jokic. Did a good job. Matter of fact, what's he going to do about Jokic's passing? Well, Jokic looked tired in the second half and actually was not as effective a passer. I tip my hat to DeAndre Ayton, who you credit for dominating Jokic. Points, 23 points, whatever it was. Right, that's dominating Jokic. You come away with the same numbers as Jokic. You dominated him. No, he played better than we anticipated, and Jokic played worse than we anticipated, largely because of Ayton. Ayton had a good game. That does not make him the most important player in the series. Andre Iguodala was not the most important player in the series against the Cavs when he won Finals MVP. LeBron James was. Andre Iguodala's point, the point of Iguodala's play was to try to limit LeBron James as much as possible. You know why? Because LeBron James was the most important player, and Jokic is the most important player here. He was the MVP of the regular series. He has, so far up till right now, been the best player in every series he's played in. He will likely be the best player in this series. If you want to say DeAndre Ayton's job is to make sure Jokic is not the best player in this series, and therefore he's important, fine. But his importance is linked to the fact that he is going up against the most important player in the series. And by the way, I don't expect Jokic to be an ineffective passer for the rest of this series either, Perk.
Why not? I mean, listen, what we saw against the Denver Nuggets against the Portland Trail Blazers, let me remind you, okay? The Portland Trail Blazers had the worst defense in the entire league. This is a new ball game right here. And when I talk about Ayton and I talk about him dominating a matchup, and you bring up points talking about, oh, Jokic had 23 and Ayton had 20. How did he get dominated? Well, I'm going to tell you, Max, because Jokic had 22 points on 23 shots. Ayton had 20 points on 13 shots. That means he was more efficient. And you know what else is going on? Now, you know why Jokic looked tired? Because he's involved in pick and rolls. Because he has to now be worried and guard DeAndre Ayton, because they're featuring him in the offense. It's a big difference. This is why I say Ayton is more important, because now Jokic can't relax on the defensive end. He got to be held accountable along with carrying the load offensively. Of course he's going to look tired, Max. That's why DeAndre Ayton has to continue to play with that tenacity and the energy that he played with in Game 1.
DeAndre Ayton was the number 1 overall pick in a draft with Luka and Trey, and you can't say he's a bust. No way. Like, he's a good player who's getting better. And the reason I bring up AD is because the matchups for him are AD and then Jokic, and you're expecting but instead, no, it's for the other guy. I'm not discounting him. What I'm saying is you're not going to stop Jokic all series. Jokic has too many ways to beat you, even if he is fatigued at times because he's got to play defense on a guy who can score. He's being defended by an athletic young guy who is motivated by Chris Paul. All that's true, but you're not going to stop over the course of a series a guy who can pass as well as anyone who's ever played the position, and most who haven't in the history of basketball, from a guy who's a low down low, who can score, who can shoot the three, who's always looking for his teammates. And by the way, yes, at home you're going to have an advantage, but they're going to have the same advantage at Denver. Jokic is the MVP for a reason. He's the best player in the series. He's the most important. And the entire game plan for Phoenix has to be, what are we going to do about him? By the way, the more help he gets, the better. Porter Jr. going to play? That's good. Barton maybe coming back? That's good because they're thinned out in the backcourt. Jokic is the most important player in the series.
All right.
Well, Max, what you fail to realize is, and I'm going to repeat this to you again, this is a different ball club, okay? This is not Portland where you could get backdoor cuts and get easy baskets and they're playing pickup ball. This is the Phoenix Suns that are locked in, that plays boxes and elbows, that know how to throw different defensive coverages at you. Did you see in game one real quick, Molly? Max, did you see in game one when Jokic started a cut was there, he tried to make a cross-court pass and Mikal Bridges was right there to intercept it? That's the difference. This Phoenix Suns is a detailed type team.
Yep.
They're really good.
Jokic shot 6 for 15 when guarded by DeAndre Ayton in game one. We would leave.
It is Big Perk in the building, hosting First Take, filling in for Stephen A. But look, I'm still going to give Max Kellerman that work today. We talking Packers, we talking Donovan Mitchell, we talking Paul George, Playoff P, or shall I say Pandemic P. Carry the hell on.
Me versus you, it's me versus you.
Can we turn the music up?
Mitchell lays it in. Donovan Mitchell is red hot.
I had to go out there and just set the tone. Can't let our foot off the gas. It's going to be a dogfight game too, and we got to be ready.
Good day. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take. Thank you for being with us on a Wednesday. Max Kellerman. I'm
getting that work,
Rose.
Who's getting that
You
work?
are, Max. You heard him.
Twisted.
He didn't stutter. All cleaned up, ready to
You
go.
getting
I
that
see you,
work.
Big Perk. Looking so fresh and so clean.
What's going on,
Stephen A.
Molly?
Has the day off. Yes, good to see you, sir. Thank you for being with us.
Good morning to you.
All right.
Yes, good morning to Molly. It's about to be a bad morning for you. Let's get this started.
Oh, my goodness. Here we go. Donovan Mitchell. Oh, my God. 45, 3-5, leaving folks salty like it's Salt Lake City. It really is. He has the Jazz defending home court against Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and the Clippers taking a 1-0 series lead. Donovan, talk to me.
Man, I let my team down in the first half on both ends of the floor. You know, I let Reggie and Luke kind of get hot. They were kicking my a little bit. You know, I came in the locker room. I wasn't making the right reads in the first half, so I said, you know what, God, it's on me. You know, at the end of the day, it's on me, and, you know, I had to go out there and just set the tone, and we did our thing.
I mean, they were playing desperation ball the whole night. You know, we didn't match it until late. But, you know, I think the positive out of it is, you know, we gave ourselves a chance, regardless we gave this one up with a flat third. We still gave ourselves a chance to win this.
Braids are tight. All right, PG-13 didn't do too much, didn't get going until the end there. Let me ask you this, Max. Was this game more about Mitchell or George?
Oh, it was more about Donovan Mitchell. Is this a trick question? The dude who dropped 45? The dude who did not have his crime partner with him in the backcourt? No Mike Conley. He goes out after what he did last year in the bubble in that series against Denver, where he and Jamal Murray went back and forth in one of the all-time great first-round battles ever, history of the sport. Had multiple 40-point games then. He was incredible. Picked up right where he left off. No Mike Conley, no problem.